What's good, y'all? It's your boy SEVNSIX back with another tutorial. Today we're going to be making a West Coast type beat specifically for artists like YG, Jay Worthy, and the late Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace. So let's get straight into this video. So pretty much we all know that the West Coast sound has changed over the years, from like the early Tupac, Dr. Dre, you know, all that, and then evolving into like the later stuff like DJ Mustard and, you know, just all that stuff. We're gonna be making, like I said, something similar to YG style, Jay Worthy style. Primarily Jay Worthy's because his project with Cardo and G Perico, they really went in. They've kind of wrapped up a whole new sound of what the West Coast is like. You know, they kind of implemented some Houston style into it to give it that overall flavor, but we're gonna make something similar to that, also with taking reference from Nipsey Hussle. So yeah, I'm gonna first start off with Nexus. Nexus got some pretty dope pianos in there, so I'm gonna make up a melody pretty closely to, you know, the West Coast style. It's gonna involve like some chords, it's gonna be chord heavy and riff heavy, so that's what we're gonna go off of. So I'm gonna use probably the Arena Ambience piano, just because I like that piano a lot. Yeah, I think we'll stick with this piano. If not, maybe I'll change it later to something else, but as of right now, I think we're just gonna run. Actually, yeah, I think we'll just run with that piano for now. So I'm gonna lay down some chords and kind of show you guys how, like, kind of what range you need to be in for when it comes to these West Coast type beats. The chords are pretty stacked, I'm not gonna lie. They're almost an entire octave full of keys. So kind of just listen to some West Coast songs from artists, and you kind of pick up on how they stack their keys together and how it comes together to sound very like melodic. But I'm just gonna put something together. Let's see. There we go. And we want our BPM to be, I kind of already said it, but we want to be within the 90s. That's going to be your perfect tempo for, you know, a West Coast type beat. So yeah. This C minor down even to a C3. And we're just following our root notes because we kind of have our scale set up right now. another note right there. There we go. Perfect. So I think we have our keys set up so far. And what I like to do to give it even more like of a realistic feel, I'll strum my keys. So we're gonna go to tools and we're gonna go to strum. And you can mess with your timing and your velocities, but I think I'm gonna keep yeah, right there is perfect. Okay, and then I'm gonna trim the excess so it repeats perfectly on a loop. There we go. Alright, and then I'm gonna add the signature West Coast bass. You can find a bass anywhere really for these, but I'm gonna go with Electra X because there's a bass in there that I really like a lot, and it's actually stock within the actual VST, so we're gonna pull that one up. So I'm gonna go to custom, go to bass, and it's called laser bass, and it sounds like this. You hear that in a lot of old school music, freestyle music. So we're gonna add that bass in here to give it that authentic West Coast feel. And we're gonna kind of just follow maybe some bass notes, some root notes to get this bass line going. I'm gonna go for like kind of like a two-step bass, not completely full length basses, but like every here and there there's gonna be like a little pump. It's gonna give it a nice kind of groove. Like this. Yeah, something like that. Overcomplicate your bass melodies, because then it's not gonna you're not gonna have any room for the artist to breathe. It's just gonna sound like too much is going on. You gotta just keep it nice and simple and smooth, and just give it like a cool little rock, and you're gonna have a nice thing going. So now I think we're gonna add, the signature West Coast whistle to this. There's some good VSTs out there that have like a pretty solid whistle. You hear it in a lot of beats like SOB, RBE, Shoreline, Mafia all kind of add the signature little square in their production, but I'm not going to go for that. I'm going to go for something a little bit more chill. And there's another sound in Electra X that has kind of the whistle going on. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to this. And I think it's called, let's see, I believe it's called Hard Square. Something like this. There's not really any like legato on it, so it's not going to give you that slide, but it'll still kind of do it the same purpose. And I think we're just going to go for that. I'm not going to go for the slide whistle. I'm just going to go for something relatively simple. So now I'm going to add this probably to the top notes to give it like a counter melody. So some rolls in there. This is one thing I like to do with my beats. Whenever I'm using counter melodies or I'm adding some kind of a special lead in there, I want to sauce up my keys a little bit. So I'm gonna cut the notes even more, and it's gonna make the keys sound more realistic, essentially. So that's what we're gonna do here. So we're gonna kind of add some rolls in there. This is what it's gonna sound like. Octave, and this is what it sounds like now. Now I think we got all our melodies and sounds together, so now we're gonna add the actual drums. So this is my drum kit. It's just I'm gonna add a simple like clap to it to give it that you know, West Coast bounce, whatever. We're gonna add that in. Then we need a kick. I use this kick in a lot of my beats. Just it's hard hitting, and I love hard hitting kicks. So. So I can kind of make it sound better. And then one crucial thing about West Coast production is a lot of it has the perk, the rim in it. So I'm gonna add a rim in this. Don't overcomplicate this perk because some people added too much into the beats and it just sounds whack. So we're gonna do like a little simple pattern with it. Just pretty simple like that. You already got yourself a nice little groove going along. So we're gonna add just some complementary items at this point. I'm gonna add an open hat. And then I got a cowbell too. That's already in the FL pack. You just go down to legacy drums and then vintage drums. A lot of these sounds in here are pretty fire for that old school sound. And some people put cowbells in their beats, and sometimes it doesn't belong, but I mean it's a good thing to add in these West Coast beats. Just don't be too excessive with it. And this is what it will sound like with this one. So that's pretty much the entire beat. I'm gonna kind of just layer it out to the channel. I'm not gonna go through the mix right now because I'll play that in the final result at the end of the video. So it's just kind of how I'm gonna layer it out. So it's not too complicated to make these West Coast type beats. I mean, they're relatively easy. The drum patterns aren't excessive. Your primary focus is probably your main melody, which would in this case be the piano. So just kind of like study your chords, know what sounds West Coast and what doesn't. In production, a lot of these newer producers like to add the hats, you know, the triplets and stuff. But I kept it a little bit, kind of held that back in this one, because you see that a lot in a lot of production nowadays. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire video. I'm gonna let the beat play at the end, but before I go, make sure y'all go subscribe to our channel. A bunch of new content coming from our team. Check out our clothing line. We got some dope merch. Make sure you guys go check that and go cop some. Peep me on all my social medias at SEVNSIX. I got it all linked at the bottom. Other than that, that's all I gotta say. Stay tuned for next Tuesday. We got tutorials dropping every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make sure y'all go check those out. Keep running those numbers up. I'm SEVNSIX. I'll catch y'all later.